The blame for overconsumption should not and cannot be placed solely on individuals. Companies and corporations have a vested interest in making you buy more stuff because if they don't, they go bankrupt. This is why they slap green labels into their products and advertise everywhere. Indeed, the whole idea of a personal carbon footprint is a propaganda campaign created by a fossil fuel giant. The Internet has grown in importance by many folds over the process of decade. Its importance in the education world can now never be undermined. Despite the chance of fraud and drawbacks, the use of Internet is like a blessing for students. Today, the Internet is something that is present in almost everything we use. The Internet has grown in importance by many folds over the process of decade. Its importance in the education world can now never be undermined. Despite the chance of fraud and drawbacks, the use of Internet is like a blessing for students. Today, the Internet is something that is present in almost everything we use. On a planet with a growing population and shrinking natural resources, business as usual is no longer sustainable. But sustainability is very often good for the bottom line, as it's the best interest of business to responsibly manage our natural resources so we can continue to use them for years to come. Over the years, various internet services have been created to communicate remotely. Social networks have been a revolution, as have instant messaging apps. Since the beginning, there is also a timeless miscommunication standard, representing one of the best tools for individuals and companies to communicate quickly: email. The geosphere includes all the stuff that make up the crust and the core of the earth, and everything natural and lifeless that makes up the surface of the earth. Examples all are the rocks and sand particles from dry land to those found at the bottom of the oceans. The geosphere undergoes infinite processes constantly, which in turn modifies other spheres. Astronomers announced that they have finally assembled an image of the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy. This image shows a bright ring surrounding the darkness, the telltale sign of the shadow of the black hole. It reveals the turbulent, twisting region immediately surrounding the black hole in new detail. Dark matter is an elusive substance that provides the skeleton for what cosmologists call the cosmic wave, the large-scale structure of the universe that, due to the gravitational influence, dictates the motion of galaxies and other cosmic material. However, the distribution of local dark matter is currently unknown because it cannot be measured directly.
You need to complete the application form before next Friday.
You have to complete the application form before next Friday.
Most of the students prefer to live outside of the campus.
Most of the students prefer to live outside of the campus.
You need to work harder to achieve your professional goals.
You need to work harder to achieve your professional goals.
There have been many complaints from members of the public.
There have been many complaints to the member of the public.
This meeting has been hosted by a motivational speaker.
The meeting is hosted by the professionals of the professor.
We will feed the new information back to the company.
We will feed the new information to the back of the company.
Even my friends often confuse me and my twin sister.
Even my friends often confused me for my twin sister.
Our university has set a minimum English language proficiency level.
Our university has set a minimum English proficiency language.
He was a mediocre scholar who loved poetry, science, and travel books.
There is a limit of their professional science, geography, and
A liberal arts curriculum can be very broad and diverse.
our literal art can be very broad and diverse.
The worker had absented himself from the office for the day.
The worker have absent in the office in the day. This picture provides information about average cost of running a coffee shop. Firstly, I can talk about MISC, admin, and lease and utilities. Furthermore, I can talk about marketing and food and supply. In addition, I can talk about 5%, 10 to 12%, and 5 to 8%. Moreover, I can talk about 22 to 30% and 28 to 35%. After analysis, I can compare the smallest amount and the largest amount. In conclusion, this picture very provides informative and significant data. This picture provides information about UK house prices grow at fastest rate since August 2007. Firstly, I can talk about 12-month percentage change. In addition, I can talk about 15%, 10%, and 5%. Moreover, I can talk about 2006, 2009, and 2012. After analysis, I can compare the largest amount and the smallest amount. In conclusion, this picture provides very significant and informative data. This picture provides information about total UK forest carbon. Firstly, I can talk about carbon stored in leaves, branches, and trunks. In addition, I can talk about carbon stored in dead wood and carbon stored in sulfur litter. Moreover, I can talk about 1%, 5%, and 17%. Furthermore, I can talk about 1 gigaton, 1 billion tons. After analysis, I can compare the largest amount and the smallest amount. In conclusion, this picture provides very significant and informative data. The lecture provides information about Google and Facebook, and also about brain and life and harmful consequence, and also about harsh craving and brain imaging, and also about decision making and video games, and also about gaming disorder and diagnosed condition, and also about social aspects and social media, and also about notification on phone. Overall the lecture provides very significant and informative data.
What does the word VIP stand for?
Very important person.
Which branch of sciences mainly studies heat, gravity, electricity, sound, etc.?
I don't know the answer. Exercise.
Would it be better to go jogging at noon or in the early morning if you want to avoid the hottest part of the day?
What do we call the period in winter when some animals like snakes take a deep sleep?
I don't know the answer.
What do we call a person that has won the first prize in a competition?
Winner.
How do we call the animals that are kept on farms or as pets?
First position. Farm animals.
A waterproof drone is being used by Australian scientists to collect the highly treasured nasal mucus of migrating whales. The snot is rich with fresh DNA, viruses, and bacteria, and it's collected by a drone that hovers over the blow whales of humpback whales as they embark on their epic annual journey along the Australian east coast. From Sydney, Phil Mercer reports.
Whales, like all mammals, need air and come to the surface to breathe through a blowhole. Vanessa Perotta, a marine biologist at Macquarie University, says that nasal mucus indicates the health of the whale.
The Democratic Republic of the Congo will hold an election in December, hopefully leading to a peaceful democratic transfer of power for the first time in the country's history. Sitting President Joseph Kabila came to power in 2001, having succeeded his father, Laurent Désiré Kabila, after his assassination. Joseph Kabila was elected president in 2006 for a 5-year term and re-elected in 2011. Though his second term ended in 2016 and the DRC constitution prevents him from seeking a third term, elections were not held and Kabila remained in power.
When at table, he was totally absorbed in the business of the moment. His looks seemed riveted to his plate, nor would he, unless when in very high company, say one word, or even pay the least attention to what was said by others, till he had satisfied his appetite, which was so fierce, and indulged with such intenseness, that while in the act of eating the veins of his forehead swelled, and generally a strong perspiration was visible. To those whose sensations were delicate, this could not but be disgusting, and it was doubtless not very suitable to the character of a philosopher, who should be distinguished by self-command. But it must be owned that Johnson, though he could be rigidly abstemious, was not a temperate man either in eating or drinking. He could refrain, but he could not use moderately. He told me that he had fasted 2 days without inconvenience, and that he had never been hungry.
One of the most encouraging phenomena in recent years has been the growth of lifelong learning in the education sector. Nowadays, students are embarking on courses at all ages. Higher education is no longer seen as a place for the young. Mature students are appreciated and valued. Recent research has also indicated that older students are enthusiastic learners, able to contribute a number of skills and attributes gained from work, family, and other life experiences.
Hillary is undecided. Obama and McCain both passed, but the scientific community is committed to staging a candidates' debate about science and technology. They want straight talk on political buzzwords like climate change and stem cells, as well as less discussed issues like funding for basic research and the National Institutes of Health. What started as citizens worried about the U.S. losing its edge is now a movement called Science Debate 2008. An article in the current issue of the journal Science claims that by 2010, 90% of the world's scientists and engineers will live in Asia, where research is well funded. The authors say the U.S. needs to keep up because science and engineering drove half of America's economic growth over the last 50 years. Science Debate 2008 had to cancel a debate before the upcoming Pennsylvania primaries because candidates wouldn't commit. Now plans are already in the works for Oregon, where primaries are set for May 20th. It's proof, the journal article says, that scientists can be quickly organized when motivated, if only politicians shared that motivation.
You will be able to work with different kinds of people. We have applied special devices in the study of local history. Many companies care about their public image, whatever their size. A computer screen shows arrival and departure times of the trains.